What's happening, guys? What I realized as I was interviewing Charlie is that I was so excited about his complete story that I never really allowed him to fully elaborate and answer the questions that I had for him because I kept going from question 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bottom line is I was just stoked to talk to the guy. He's an amazing guy, has an amazing story, and unfortunately I kept interrupting him whenever he started to elaborate and expand upon his answers. But we have 2 parts to it. He has other things to share with the interview, and I'm going to release those right now. But again, I apologize for interrupting too early. Maybe he'll give me another shot to have a conversation with him, and I'll learn to shut my damn mouth.
Keys are in the convo on honky talk. Race, religion, systems and lies.
You know when that's going down? Okay, there's about to fight on Thursday morning at 8 o'clock.
Feel it.
Really?
You can feel it. And there's random fights all the time. There's one-on-ones, but with the gangs, you ain't getting a one-on-one. You disrespect the blood, so it could be as easy as.
So you were in there with Bloods and Crips and all that?
Yeah, Bloods, Crips, Gangster Disciples.
Did they get
Paisas, which are the Mexican gang.
Yeah. MS-13, is that shit still around?
Yeah, there's the Serranos,
yes,
Norteños.
Okay. Yeah.
I was in one pod where they had Serranos, and they almost put a Norteño in there by accident.
That would be a death sentence?
He would have probably gotten killed. Yeah.
So some of the shit you read about is true.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But what I wish they would represent, too, is the fact that you get a black car and a white car in prison. Because you would think that, they don't talk, they don't do anything.
Feds. So now, like on the state, it doesn't really work like that anymore. At least in North Carolina, you can roll with whoever you want. But on the feds, that racial segregation is already set in stone. So it's a subculture within America. And it's in your best interest to follow the rules.
Okay.
You can try to be that guy that wants to change stuff. But eventually you're going to run into somebody that's not going to have it, and he's going to be clicked up hard. And depending on where you at, so the mediums, there's some that are safer than others, but at the Philadelphia FDC.
Is that where you spent most of your time?
No, I spent most of my time in Orange County, North Carolina, in jail waiting to get sentenced.
Orange County, is that like Smithfield?
No, Hillsborough.
Wow, that's not far from here,
no,
right?
It's like an hour. 15 minutes somewhere.
Did you have people visit you? I mean, could you get visitors?
Nope.
Or no?
Nope. COVID. No visitors. I never the whole time I was in, I never had a single family member or anybody visit me. No visitation the whole time.
Just phone calls.
Just phone calls. And they also have video calling machines. But until you get to actual prison, like until I got to FDC on the jails, it's all money. So you have to pay. One phone call is like $4. One video call's like $6.
Damn.
So
did you have support? Like, was your?
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't asked
my
your parents.
My brother.
Are your parents still around?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were they supportive?
Everybody was supportive of him.
Okay.
Everybody was. Everybody that was my family, including
Did they know you were involved this far politically? Your folks?
Man, some of them are more politically than I am.
Yeah, like, see, my dad is really, really, really conservative.
So
right?
My mom is really conservative.
Yeah.
My dad is very liberal. He's 100% Democrat.
See,
but I love my dad
works.
to death.
How did your parents stay together, bro? That's how I got divorced.
They did
okay, I'm with you. Yeah,
they did it.
This is no shit.
My dad left my mom when I was 3.
Okay. Dad's uber liberal.
Yep.
Mom's uber conservative.
Yep. And a lot of that has to do with. So my dad doesn't believe in Jesus.
Okay.
My mom does.
Isn't that weird? Because most conservatives are religious, right? Most liberals are struggling a little bit.
So believe it or not, my roommates right now are liberal. But I love them to death.
Yep.
But they're also religious. And they're not.
I just want to have you could probably have conversation with them, right?
Oh, Alex,
and that's beautiful.
Alex.
That's beautiful, brother.
Alex will hit me up all the time trying to talk politics. And I entertain it every time except when the Charlie Kirk thing happened. I was like, dude, I just don't want to talk about this right now with you, dude.
I don't see that going right now with any conversation, someone that's on that side of it going positive. Because it's such a fucking emotionally sensitive topic right now.
Yeah.
And what pisses me off is these assholes that are celebrating it.
Well,
I don't understand it.
we live in troubling times, man.
Very much so.
This is when I was in the Marines, and when I would go home on leave, everything was different than it is now. Like, you know, everybody was an American. Now I just don't know anymore.
I don't either.
It's kind of crazy.
It scares me, not me at 53, Charlie. I'm concerned about my kids, right?
I'm concerned about my son, too.
And how old's your son?
My son's 8 years old.
Okay. So you don't really, I don't think you and me, 53, I'm not going to see what's, to me, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But I'm mortified. I don't want, you see a lot of these guys on the conservative side say, well, civil unrest is what's necessary. And I've said it too, to be honest with you. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And it scares the shit out of me.
Well, the thing that's necessary is to pray to Jesus, because God can do anything. If you pray, enough people pray, God is 100% capable of saying, you know what, United States of America, I'm going to fix you.
See, this is where I think you and I will disagree. I struggle with, is that me or you? You're still driving?
See, the Google's I know what's going on, dude.
Religion to me, I'll tell you my story real quick, right? And I grew up uber religious, right? Went to church every Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday evening, had youth. And I was always taught religion, right? My mother's uber. She passed away 12 years ago today. So if I start crying just from a weird fucking thing, it ain't what you said. It ain't because you fucking stink. It ain't because it's just an emotional day, right? Which is why something like this is so fucking cool to do on this day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting to cry now. But anyhow, she uber religious, right?
You want a hug?
Nah, maybe later.
Okay.
I might hump you.
Gay.
But I grew up, and then I started asking questions, right? And very religious people, and I don't think you're that guy, they don't like you to ask questions, right? And I started asking questions, started getting some kind of feedback.
You need to come to my church,
right?
Man.
This is what bothers me. I've met a lot of fucking people that are uber religious, and one being my old minister that had the audacity to my mama's boy, if you haven't figured that shit out, right? So I go into church, and he sends my mother a letter. This is what turned me off. And I was married, so I was probably 99, 2000. So, she gets a letter. You didn't, mom made $27,000 a year, brother. You can't live on that, right? Mm-hmm. But, which means you're committing in the Methodist church, you commit 10%, right? $2,700. It's like fucking October, November, whatever. She hadn't met that obligation. Hell, she couldn't. So Mark sends her this letter and says, whatever, you need to tithe. Basically, shame on you for committing to something that you're not able to do. And mom, she worked, 4 hours. She worked in the office, so I knew how much Mark made. Long story short, I go in there, show my ass, all right? Mm-hmm. Using some words that I'm probably not very proud of. We go in the office. And one, he said he didn't do the letters, his signature. He said, I know your mother got it. I knew everything. He made $84,000 a year, had a parsonage. You know what the parsonage is?
A parsonage is like a house next to the church.
Paid for by the church.
Paid for by the church.
And in the Methodist culture, in First United, they have what's called a house at Lake Junaluska. So Lake Junaluska is a lake right outside of Asheville, right? There's a lot of ministers that have homes there. So had a house there, had a car allowance, and he made $84,000 a year. I knew this shit. So I'm protecting my mom, right? Like you and I talked about, you pushed me so far. And
that's your family, man. That's your mother.
Mom makes $27,000 a year doing her best to tithe. Mark, you make $84,000. How much do you tithe? He looked at me in the eye and said, my word is my tithe. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done, brother.
I'm so sorry for you, man.
And at that time,
that stinks, man. But that's one man, Kevin.
I don't disagree. And I think, with religion, I have a hard time with this, that if I do right things down here, right, and I do right by the people. I give tons of charity. I live by the Bible's theory, but I don't live by the teachings of the Bible. And there's one thing that I haven't accepted, God and or Jesus. And theoretically, let's say I'm wrong, and I'm going up the pearly gates, Charlie. I can't see how a man can look at me, that being God or Jesus or whoever, and say, "Nah, we don't want him because he made a mistake."
Well,
he made a mistake while he was on this earth.
Kevin, that's not how it works.
Well, I hope you're right, because
God can do anything, but he wants you to have faith in him. And that faith,
I'm not opposed to that.
And that faith in him will set you free. So
But what if I don't have faith in him? What if I have faith in a being, right? Because I do believe from a spiritual perspective, brother. Like my wife's very religious, and we don't struggle with it. We don't talk about it. I do believe something is there, right? And it's funny. I was picking up payroll for the restaurant. What's the fucking date? It was the 15th, so it was Monday. And she was very religious, right? The girl that picked up good people. We have good dialogue. She's the liberal. She's probably not liberal, so I apologize if you hear this. She's the people that has opposing views you can talk to, right?
Right.
And I hit her with this, and I'm curious
That's like
what
my
you
roommates.
think, right?
And my buddy Ben Pike. Shout out to him.
Okay.
He's a guy who's on the left, says he's libertarian, but I mean he is part libertarian, but he's libertarian left.
Why do we have to have labels?
Well, I'm sorry. We don't have to have labels.
No.
You're right.
No,
you're right.
No, I'm
you're
saying
right.
I do it all day long.
Yeah.
You know, as I told you,
that's a good point. That's
I'm
true.
conservative as fuck fiscally, but socially, I don't give a shit what people do in their home, brother.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you want to go and do, but you can't tell me that I've got to accept you because you want to be a man, right? There's certain levels that I ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
You want to dress up like a fucking woman? Cool. Don't tell me to call you a woman because you're not.
Yep.
But I don't even know where I was going with this.
Well, it goes to.
But I was going back to the Jesus.
You can lie to yourself, but you can't expect me to
That's
lie on your behalf.
1,000,000%. And just accept that, right? But she was talking about acceptance and forgiveness and whatever. So let's just run the Jesus scenario, right? The Jesus God. Okay. And I'm not chastising you at all. This is
go ahead.
This came up in conversation to her. So I'm going up to the pearly gates. God's all about forgiveness, right? Mm-hmm. Why couldn't he forgive me for not accepting him? Because the way things read and the little bit of excerpts that I've read, okay, if I don't accept God as my Savior, upon my death, I will not be granted into the gates of heaven. Why can't he accept me and forgive me for not accepting him when I lived a life of fucking the Lord?
Well, would you decide not to accept your father?
What do you mean? Elaborate.
So, if you were to be on your deathbed right now,
he's always my father.
Well, God is always your father.
But it's where I struggle. It's a belief.
That's fine.
Okay.
And so
but a belief in a physical, biological fact. Okay. Where I think you and I want to be, I do. I'm not lying. I would like to be religious.
Yeah.
Right. And because to me, church is such a great place to go for fellowship, for relationship.
Well, do you meet the best people there?
I don't. You also meet the worst.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
That is
Hold
true.
on a minute.
But it just depends. But you can, if you don't like a church, you can leave. Mm-hmm. And go to another one until you find one that you like.
Safe to say every church has those people that we're referencing, right? You can't fully escape the hypocrisy of, I'm going to say, abusing religion.
You know why? Because we're all sinners.
Yeah.
So even people that are church-going, elders, the pastor, they all sin. Everybody sins. None of us, all of us are guilty.
How can you be a pastor? All right, let's tackle that one, right? I like this. How can you be a pastor, man, preaching? Because I've got a particular person in my life, in my wife's life, right? Mm-hmm. Claims to be a pastor. Okay. He's the most evil human being I've ever met in my life.
Well, there's plenty of them.
Evil, right? He's using religion
to make money.
And he's wanting to open up churches, right?
Did you see that Sean Ryan episode? I can't remember his name.
Who's Sean Ryan?
Sean Ryan is a Navy SEAL who has a podcast. He's conservative. He just recently found Jesus.
Okay.
And he interviews the coolest, most interesting people. He's like another Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan went the fighting route. He went the Navy SEAL route, which you have to respect.
Oh, I do, dude. A friend of mine's
Navy SEAL, becoming a Navy SEAL is no easy task.
Dude, and to keep that line of thought, I want your opinion as a military guy, right? A friend of mine's son went through the Navy SEAL training, right? He was doing one of the tasks, and he fractured his tibula.
Where
they carry the boat.
Yep.
He's such a badass.
Oh,
He did. They kicked him out. He said, fuck it. I'm going to prove you. They said, you'll never make it. And he went back after he healed and finished first or second in his class.
Dude, that dude's a badass.
He's a badass, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but I am proud of him. That is amazing.
He's a badass,
He's
dude.
a dude to look up to.
And it's scary as fuck. Like, he's been here. We can wrap up in any given moment. But it's cool as fuck. Does it like badass? Because you were a Marine, right?
Yeah.
And like Marine, and just you look at these guys knowing they're fucking killers. You were a killer. But you drink a beer with them, it's like you would never know Nick is that dude, right?
Being a killer is different than being a murderer.
No, yeah. Thank you for that. I'm just talking about the ability to.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
And to go through, I don't know if there's been any stories of a kid go through, get hurt, and fail. And I don't know anything of the story. Robbie's not told me a whole lot, but I have so much respect for that kid because I've never seen the mental fortitude, because I don't know what the fuck a SEAL take. I can only know what YouTube shows me.
I have a story for you. There's a Navy corpsman in my unit.
What is a corpsman? What is that?
So a Navy corpsman, the Marines love them. The Navy corpsman is the Marine Corps' medic.
Okay.
So in the Army has medics. The Marine Corps does not have any medics. They use the Navy for their medics. They're Navy corpsmen.
Okay.
And the Navy corpsman accepts going. Now, you could be a Navy corpsman for all different Marine units, but for mine, I was in a line company, meaning frontline warfighter in the infantry.
You were the number one guy up front.
In a Victor unit, which is a overseas deployable unit, active duty, with 2 tours to Iraq. So all of our training was based on warfighting, all of it.
Damn.
There wasn't any training that didn't somehow revolve around locating, closing with, and destroying the enemy by fire and maneuver, or repelling the enemy assault by fire and close combat.
Repelling like from helicopters or whatever?
No, repelling the enemy assault, meaning stopping the enemy assault by fire and close combat. That's the mission of the Marine Corps Rifle Squad.
Okay.
So everything revolved around that. Everything else was support for us. And the Navy corpsman is a dude that accepts his role. He joined the Navy, not the Marines, but accepts his role as the go-to dude to save wounded Marines in combat.
So he's in the midst of all that shit. Bullets fucking flying.
To us, to me, I don't care that he didn't go through boot camp. He's a Marine to me.
Yeah.
So Navy corpsmen they're badasses.
That's awesome, dude.
But this guy's a Navy corpsman. By the time I met him, he had already been to BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition School, which is what Navy SEALs go through, twice. And both times he had to get dropped for injuries.
Damn.
And he said,
that's a dope guy. Yeah.
He said, I'm going for my third. And he went for his third, and he got injured again. Well, in the SEALs, 3 times injuries, that's like having an NFL football player get too many concussions. You're done, son.
Really?
Yep. You're done. You're over. Your career's over. You want to be a
his
SEAL.
head was in it. He had the mental aptitude to get through there.
Dude, so much respect. So to become a Navy SEAL, what's different to become
what happens if you because Nick, as an example, went into the Navy to become a SEAL, right? Your buddy or your corpsman, right, gets hurt, then he doesn't want to be on a boat, right? Like
no, he goes back to being a corpsman.
So he can choose to be the corpsman.
Yeah.
And is that one of the things that say, okay,
SEALs
didn't work out. I don't want to be on a boat. Can I be a corpsman and to be with my dudes that are out there fucking fighting?
It depends on how you enlist. So for me,
so there are statutes listing like when you enlist. I was a pussy. I went to college, right?
Gotcha.
I didn't.
Well, I don't think you're a pussy.
Well, I think college is a waste of time for 99% of the population. I'm not a pro college guy. I'm glad I went. Don't get me wrong.
Trade school's where it's at.
Fucking A, man. Like you're talking about, you use your hands.
Yeah.
I wish more people. I wish society as a whole respected that more, right? And it goes back to what we're preaching
I think
online.
we're getting there now.
I don't disagree. We're making momentum to get to that, but I think college, again, 99 is probably a stretch. A good 85% of the people are wasting their time and money.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
My youngest, I'm glad he went, right? He went and was uber talented, uber aggressive, had the experience.
I don't think it's a waste of time or money if you're pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree or if you're pursuing a niche field to become something great. So
Don't disagrey.
Let's say
my oldest is a mechanical engineer, right?
Yeah,
He's an engineer in
that's
Tesla.
impressive.
And my youngest he went bachelor of science in
I would
business
love to
and
meet
entrepreneurship.
I would love to meet your son.
I want you to
That's
meet the
amazing.
boys. They're going to be here. They live in Austin. They'll be flying in next Thursday. Yeah, we ought to come out and meet you out at Game On or something for a beer or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Done.
So
Right.
mechanical engineer, those dudes are so
That's what he
cool to
is.
talk
Yeah.
to because they're just a plethora of knowledge.
That's all it is
when it
up
comes
here.
to building stuff from scratch, which is that's not my forte.
But he's
I'm
also the guy like you, though.
Yeah.
Like he likes to
So
get
he
his
does
fucking hands
both.
in there.
But he does
likes to
both.
he's still driving, bro. He's 25 years old, making really good money, doesn't spend anything. He's still in Austin, Texas, driving a 2000 Jeep Cherokee that he's got to fix every 2 weeks. The
That's
motherfucker
awesome.
breaks down. He doesn't want debt, right?
Yep.
I love it. He and his brother, they've started a company called Iron Plate Solutions to where they build automatic robotic equipment to cook
Mm-hmm.
burgers and other kitchen supplies, burgers, fucking steaks, and I'm getting flustered. But they're getting ready to move to San Francisco, which is where they need to be. It's not
well,
the best
that's
place
fine,
to live.
but yeah.
But dude, it's your son is 8 years old. Kudos to you for
he might be an engineer because his obsession with trains and planes, like he tells me stuff at 8 years old that I never knew when
me
it
this.
comes to the mechanical workings of trains and planes.
I've got an offer for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting my pilot's license.
Nice.
Right. Should have it. Hopefully the next 8 weeks. I should be done with
That's
everything.
so much fun.
Y'all come up with me. Take your son. If you're okay
yeah,
with it.
yeah, 100%.
On these little Piper Cherokees, I want to buy a plane.
So of all the stuff that his mother doesn't let him do for safety, she lets him fly in planes.
Okay.
They live next to the Greenville Airport, which has like a flying park.
Oh, so he's already been up and
He's
everything.
been up in
Oh,
the
fuck.
Cessna
Okay, that's great.
172s
Yeah,
a couple times.
yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anytime he's up here.
Oh, yeah.
Chad Courtney, the guy that owns the school.
He'll when he comes sees me, he's like, Dad, I want to go fly on a plane. I'm like, can't really do it, but
I'm
I
looking
trust
man
you.
to man.
Yeah.
Okay, I may not have, but Chad is such a good guy. When he comes up here next, call me.
Yeah, it'll be
and
Thanksgiving.
Chad will, okay, he'll be up here in a couple months.
Yep.
Let's plan on. I may not have my license, but I'll make sure Chad takes him up and flies a little bit.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, Chad's great people. He owns the school. Has, I want to say 4 or 5 planes. Chad, I apologize. He may have more. I don't know, but they're all these like Piper Cherokees, smaller.
I still have my flight book. I've logged about 10 hours in.
Isn't it fun?
Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessed with it, bro.
I could take off, but I never practiced landing. And then what it was for me was money.
Mm-hmm.
So I got told that you can do it for this much. Well, within 2 weeks, I already spent like $2,000 more,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't even close to getting my license. And I was like, I don't have any more money. I can't do
It's
this anymore.
expensive.
Yeah, it's super
and
expensive.
a lot of the young kids, they now have, which I like, they have like you can do college loans. You can loan flight school.
Well, the GI Bill will pay for you to get your commercial license, but they will not pay for you to get your private pilot.
But you got to get private to go commercial.
I know.
So they won't pay for that? So
Because
you
they
gotta
look
pay-
at it. They look at it as that's not a career,
And you could
We're not
stop.
going to pay for
But
you.
you have to do that to get the career.
I know.
Dude.
Yeah.
Last question. I'm just curious back to that. With all the military benefits,
Mm-hmm.
was that ever compromised when you?
No. So that's a big thing, and that's why I took the plea.
Okay.
So I was pretty committed to going to trial. They separated all of us. None of us that was in my indictment. It was the guys. I've talked to one since I've been out. Technical error.
No, the battery went down.
Operator error.
We've been talking an hour and 16 minutes.
With the tax collectors, which at the time, they were working for the Romans. And all the Jews hated the Romans because they were taxing them. So a Jewish tax collector.
The Jews were taxing the Romans?
No, the Romans were taxing the Jews. So the Romans.
Okay. See,
so
I don't know shit about that.
Okay. Well, so that another thing. So not only reading the Bible, but I read over 500 books while I was locked up.
Damn.
And
Do you
at
consider
least a third of them were history books.
Okay.
So I've even had my lawyers who are intelligent, even they say, like, Charlie, you literally got an education in there, like a degree almost.
Right.
So that's why I still have some GI Bill left, but I don't really want to go back to college because I have an associate's degree, but not a bachelor's. I would love to get it into history, but you can't really do anything with that nowadays. I would love to have it just to have it to back up my knowledge.
Right.
But I don't have to have other people know. I know myself that
You're far more intelligent and versed than most people.
Well, I appreciate
most educated people. You know, because my dad, right, told me one of the strongest things he've ever said. I didn't have, but dad, my ex-wife was, as I said, very liberal, educated, PhD, right? Great woman. We just didn't work out, right? Things just didn't pan out. But dad's conservative. So Heather, they could get in friendly debates, right? My father and my ex-wife. My mother was liberal. Mother was a big Obama lady. But my dad said, you know, to her, he said, just because you're educated doesn't make you smart.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Well, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom.
Yes.
Because knowledge comes mostly from education. Wisdom comes from education and experience put together.
Yeah.
It's wisdom is taking in everything and spitting out the bad and keeping the good.
Dude, that's dope. I don't know if I would waste any time getting, not unless it's just something you want to do.
Well, for me, because going back full time to college, so I don't even know how I did it, but I used to be so motivated. I guess a lot of it has to do with the age. So I'm not old, but I'm 37. To me, trying to work full time and go back to school to get a bachelor's degree, I just look at that like, dude, that's going to be exhausting.
It's exhausting, but I'll tell you a kick-ass story, right? And so a friend of mine that I've known, Marty he didn't go to college, right? He came out of school and learned how to build houses, right? Which is phenomenal. And he was a general I don't know if he had his GC license or not. I think he did. And he reached a point that, and I'm going to say at roughly your age, right? Because Mark's 2 years older than me. I'm 53, he's 55. He became a freshman at NC State motherfucking University at like 40 years old, 45 years old.
That's crazy.
As an undergrad, bro.
That's awesome.
And he moved to Raleigh, right? He's dedicated. He finished first in his class as an undergrad in architecture, right?
In architecture's
hard to get in.
Yes, that's very impressive.
Now, they knew they're from Pilot Mountain. And, you know, a lot of people question, why would you do this? What would you do this? You've got a family. And I had so much respect for him. I was like, dude, why not? You know, because he wanted to be an architect.
I'm listening.
And he didn't want, you know, it's hard. People judge, right? And I know they judge you. They judge me.
You want one?
I'm good, thank you. I wish we'd invested in those years ago. My kids do that all the time. But to Marty, to have the balls to start his collegiate career
it's such
40 something, and then he went and got his master's, bro. Finished first in his master's class.
See, and it's so cool.
He kicked everybody's ass.
So, before I found Jesus, Kevin, those are people that I would admire, but I'd also be jealous of. Now I don't.
You just admire them.
I just admire them. I don't have any jealousy anymore.
See, I've never had the jealous bug in me.
Yeah. Well, mine's never been bad, but it would just be like, especially when I was contracted. So I was making a lot of money working for Blackwater. I worked for them for 5 years.
Oh shit!
And
for real?
Yep. I was on.
Dude.
I was a CIA contractor for 5 years. So I did 3 anywhere from 2.5 to 4 month deployments. Well, 11 of them were to Afghanistan.
How'd you get into that? That's badass.
I applied. That was when I was so motivated. So I got out of the Marine Corps. So I wanted to re-enlist.
Okay. How many years you served?
I did 4 years.
Okay.
What ended up happening, so I got out in 2010. So when I enlisted originally in 2006, it was during the surge. And when I deployed in 2007.
What is the surge?
So the surge was Iraq is not going well.
Oh, everything
we need
going on in
more
the Middle East.
guys.
Okay. Yep.
Because we're not going to be able to win this.
But was the surge a term that we used to recruit kids for the military, or no?
I don't think that wasn't a recruitment term.
Okay.
That was a term that was used by the Bush and then later the Obama administration to basically explain to the common people we're sending 100,000 more troops in.
Okay.
So we need a lot of guys to come enlist.
So after 4 years, was it a hard decision not to re-enlist, or was it like, okay, I did my 4 years, I want to?
So it was both. So the Marine Corps infantry is tough, and the reason it's so tough is you're basically a professional homeless guy. All you do is train to fight and live in the field. You go
Really?
even when you're not deployed or not even doing your CAX train up, like when I was in, which is a month-long train up in the desert of California, in the Mojave Desert at 29 Palms, which is a really tough train up. It's just straight up grunt work. Like that's where the term grunt comes from. Like you are the Marine Corps' manual labor.
Okay.
And you're also the Marine Corps' cannon fodder. You're the guy that we put in to fight and die. And we're going to train you to be badass at it. And the infantry doesn't have all the specialized training that like the special ops and special forces guys do. So they are more tactically proficient than the Marine Corps infantry, but the Marine Corps infantry is really good at making do with what they have, which is little or nothing. And so you live a life in the Marine Corps infantry when you're active duty of in the field, eating MREs.
Really?
It's a life.
Yeah.
It's a complete
Sleeping on the ground.
Just sleeping
No
on
cover,
the ground.
yeah.
Always cold, always hot, always sweating, always freezing. Pick one. Always wet from the rain. Always uncomfortable. Always uncomfortable.
Really?
Except for, you get your liberty and then you go have fun for a little bit. And then all of a sudden you're like, man, it's fucking Sunday. Like now I love Sunday because I go to church. And the Marine Corps, it's Friday is like, I'm off. I get to get off work. I finally get out of the field. Then Sunday comes along and the only thing, at least for me, the only thing was my mind was like, man, I can't even have fun tonight because I have to wake up at 05 and go run 3 miles. And then...
So did you get off like every weekend, like every Saturday?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was... You go through phases, but even when you get off of deployment, they do give you a little bit of recovery time, but then you're right up back training for your next deployment again.
Okay.
Which is in the field, living there. So... Now, don't get me wrong. All the special ops and special forces guys are badass. And
what's the special forces for the Marines?
Well, so the Marines have 2 things. So you have 3. You have Marine Recon, Marine Force Recon, and MARSOC. So
I've never heard of the MARSOC.
MARSOC is Special Operations Command, Marine Corps Special Operations Command. Now they call them the Raiders, which it's an old term for the Guadalcanal dudes back in World War II.
Okay.
Well, so they adopted that and brought the whole logo and everything back. And dude, I've been out for so long.
Did you ever look to like go into that or?
I couldn't.
Yeah.
And the reason is I got NJP twice while I was in.
Is that trouble?
Yeah. It was not non-judicial, but yeah, go figure. It's non-judicial punishment. And so MARSOC was like, yeah, dude, we're not going to take you because we have all these other applicants. And it's a paperwork thing. Yeah.
I'm a big believer, Charlie, is that we end up where we're supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
I
am too. Well, the thing about the infantry, so I became good. I became a fire team leader and a squad leader. And I was even, right before I got out, as a corporal, I was acting platoon sergeant, which is a staff sergeant rank.
Damn.
And that's because I had a lot
4
of respect.
years.
Yep.
That's strong, bro.
And
did it kind of fuck you up when you got the felony and couldn't have a gun? Like,
but you know what fucked me up more? I got over that pretty quick. But fucked me up more, like I said, was just seeing that indictment. Me serving my country for so long and seeing that indictment saying the United States of America
is against you. Yeah.
Kevin, I spent over 4 years boots on ground in the Middle East. I've gone through 2, not 1, but 2 suicide attacks. One being a car bomb that hit the corner of our base at Fob Chapman in Coast Province that killed 33 people.
Of your fellow troops?
Well, my Afghans.
Yeah.
Well, 6 were my Afghans, 27 were civilian. And what's crazy is usually the Taliban or al-Haqqani network always take responsibility for their attacks. Yeah, we killed many Americans. This was one that nobody took responsibility for because it was so botched.
Really?
Yep. That car, when it hit the corner of the base, when it hit was at the exact time that 2 buses, one full of men going somewhere, but the other one was full of women and children, and blew those buses up with it. And dude, it was gnarly. I'm talking about body parts.
Were you asleep or were you?
No, I was running on the treadmill.
And you heard it. It's like, boom.
Well, it was. So I'll tell you the story. So I'm running on the treadmill. It almost knocks me off on the treadmill. Well,
Holy shit, for real?
Yep.
Lose power? Not. I mean, I don't. This is a
Well,
dumb
we're
question.
no, because everything runs off of generators over there.
Okay.
Yeah. We do not rely when the American military does not rely on any type of foreign energy.
Makes sense.
When
I
they're
understand
deployed.
that. Yeah.
We make our own energy. So it hits. I go run outside, grab my gear.
So that's, I mean, you're
And I
trained.
thought
That's your immediate instinct. Boom, something's
it's
down.
what you have to do.
Let me gear up.
Yep.
And I'm.
Yep. It's what I have to do. That's
How quick does it
that's
take
my
you to
job.
throw your shit on, like your gear, to gear
Well,
up?
so I just had a plate carrier, my backpack with all my extra ammo, grab my rifle. I already have my pistol on me,
Okay.
which is Glock 17. I grabbed my LWRC M6A2, which is, it could go to fully automatic with 10.5-inch barrel, and I had an EOTech on it. I like the EOTech better than the ACOG.
I would love to say I know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, well, yeah, well, any gun guy
just a
watching will
badass
know.
gun. Yeah.
It is a piston-driven AR, not a gas impingement system, so it won't jam.
Dude.
But it's heavier, but it won't jam. And grab my gear, and so I run out. Well, all my fellow Cobras, almost
during
all
the
of
day
them-
or at night?
This is during the day. All my fellow Cobras, it was May, somewhere between May 28th and May 31st of 2015. You can look it up. There's an article on it. And so that, this
This
is
is
a
in
true story.
Iraq.
No, this is Afghanistan.
Okay,
as a
okay.
contractor.
All right.
And it's at Fob Chapman and Coast Province that borders Pakistan. So, and everybody knows, if you look up on the internet, it'll say Fob Chapman CIA base. It's like one
You
or
were
two.
with Blackwater at the time.
Yeah, it was 1 or 2 clicks south of.
What is a click?
Fob-
A degree?
No, kilometer.
Okay.
A click's a kilometer.
Okay.
So the military uses metric. They don't use the standard, because when you're working
Internationally, it makes sense.
Yeah, because America is in NATO. We always work with partners, and so it keeps everything simple.
Makes sense.
And so it's 1 or 2 kilometers. So it's about a mile south of Fob Salerno, which they got earlier, like years earlier. They got hit with a massive suicide car bomb. So this was a suicide car bomb.
Okay.
And so I go to run out, and I see a ton of my Cobras sitting in the bunker. And I'm like, I'm shift leader at the time. So I was the night shift commander of the entire base. I had about
So when you were at
250
Blackwater, you were also leading the military.
No. We're
So all these are
complete separate
Blackwater?
entity, yes.
Oh, so Blackwater
So I
sounds
was
like
CIA.
big teams and shit.
Well, so my contract now.
I'll get to it. Just go back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me just finish.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, I signed a non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff I'm not supposed to say.
Okay. Well, what? Just
All right,
don't
but
say it.
anyway,
Yeah.
so my fellow Cobras, there are a bunch of them are
Can
in
you
a
say
bunker.
this or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're sitting in a bunker. I'm like, dude, get the fuck up. And the team leader's like, my call sign was Yut. Yut, dude, why are we going to get out of the bunker? It's just a rocket attack. And I grabbed him and yanked him out of the bunker and pointed. And dude, I will never forget this in my life. It was a straight up fucking mushroom cloud. Excuse my language. And I'm just looking at that. And
So you
I'm
got out
like,
there quick.
yeah. So we all go to our respective posts, shut everything down. We got intel later that the Taliban, or no, there was the Haqqani network. They hit us with the one car bomb. They had another one ready to go, and 15 fighters they were going to send in the base to storm the base. But they just,
After that. So
yeah,
that was part of it. It's like
the intel we
phase
got.
2 or whatever.
Yeah, but they didn't, because they were waiting for their plan was, if the first one doesn't penetrate the base, then we're not going to send the second one in and the fighters in, because it's a waste of our resources.
Right.
So they didn't, but they did penetrate the base. Just from wherever angle they were sitting at, they couldn't see the penetration, but they blew a hole in the wall about this big, enough to send that car bomb to blow it up wider, but at least enough to send the fighters in.
Jeez.
And you send fighters, that becomes an active shooter situation on your base, and you've got Afghans working with you. Well,
how do you know who's on your team and
you
not?
don't. That's the problem, and it sucks. So by now, both the Taliban and the Al-Haqqani network, whenever they storm bases as suicide bombers and shooters and RPGers, they're wearing matching uniforms to the Afghan allies we have. So that would have been a nightmare, having to fight 15 guys that's wearing the same uniforms as my Afghans that are protecting me. And I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm so fortunate. I'm so thankful to God that he did not allow that to happen.
Damn, brother.
So, but just the car bomb going off was like, I mean, that was the second one I was in. And it was just, but that one was the most casualties. That was just like, man.
When you're in stuff like that, do you question why you're there, or are you just so mentally focused on this is my task?
It's 100%.
This is why I'm
mentally
hired.
focused. So
okay.
now in my life is the time to question.
Yeah.
But while you're there, I'm expected to do my duty.
Okay.
And that's all I was focused on.
And the majority of soldiers are in
Yeah.
that same mindset,
Yeah, exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but
Well, brother, thanks for everything you did.
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hell, we can do this whenever you want. Anytime you need therapy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
We can wrap up because fuck, we've been going an hour and a half.